Play stronger, not faster, resign like a grandmaster. Hello everyone, I'm Fabian, and this series, Resign Like a Grandmaster, has been inactive for quite some time, and I've been doing some work, and my school is starting soon as well. However, I decided to make a new video. Actually, I tried to record my recent tournament, which is an Atomic 960 tournament against an Opway Desers, but I messed up and I didn't record anything. In this video, we'll be talking about some Atomic 960 and the Atomic. Actually, what is Atomic 960? Well, it is just a chess 960 with atomic rules. If you don't know what is atomic chess, it is a variant of chess, and you can play on lichess.org, and you can just select play arena tournaments and find there are atomic tournaments every 2 hours, and you can click atomic link and find out what atomic chess is. And atomic chess is very interesting, although some might think it's too good for white, but well, atomic 960 is a solution for that. Atomic 960 is just a randomized position like chess 960. If you don't know chess 960, just search it, or just actually my previous videos are all about atomic chess, and if you have seen it, you must know the rules. And the atomic arena has been going on, and for example, in this game, as you can see, white is not really up material, but white is up a rook, so white is slightly better. And in atomic chess, whenever a capture happens, you can't capture that because the rook invades. But if you capture that, this knight gets exploded. You can check out the rules. And today we are going to talk about Atomic 960, which is a variant of atomic chess, and it's just the same rules. The explosion happens on the capturing square, and all the nearby squares, pieces, not pawns, are removed from the nearby squares. The Atomic 960 opening series are weakened, and you don't need to memorize all those annoying openings. That is probably a good thing if you, well, like me, know the few series. And okay, currently there is a there is a match going on in the same tournament. I'll show the tournament bracket after this match, and they are this is game 2, I think, and white is Etach HTH Sark, which is just crash the gate backwards, and black is Legend Destroyer, and CTG are both known players, somehow known, and they are both on the house Discord server. And I think CTG quit, but they were very active members before they quit. So the first game ended in CTG winning, or was it? You can check the history. This site is called Chess Variants Training, and you can play variant 960 games on this site. And I'll look at my games and slightly analyze it before next round. And after this match ends, the first game ends in Legend Destroyer winning, and some knight 60 positions are just lost for black. That's sadly, but well, atomic is good for white. That is a known fact. So you can just probably think about it. Well, as you can see, this is the starting position. As you can see, if I play white, I might just go there and opening up the bishops, and I can't draw arrows here, and yeah, I can't draw any arrows. So knight to g3 was played, and the normal thing, whenever your opponent move the knight on the third rank, your best move is probably put a pawn on your third rank, on the same file as the knight. Otherwise, the knight it controls these squares f5 and h5, and the knight can't go there. So it's still similar to regular atomic chess, and you must watch out for some captures. And for example, that bishop is threatening g2. So well, this is just randomly developing moves, and because there are no theory, so we can play randomly, and this is quite dangerous for white, but okay. And yeah, white wins some material. This is pretty good for white, maybe. Because white is up material, and now is white really up material? Let's count. Black is up 2 points, and white is up. No, black is up 1 pawn, and white is up a bishop. So not really up material, but this is castling. How to castle in chess 960 and atomic 960? Well, the rooks are automatically distributed, one to the left and one to the right of the king. And that is by left and right, I mean a file and h file. And the one closer to the a file is used for queenside castling, and the one closer to the h5 is used for kingside castling. Whenever castling, the final position is always, if castle queenside, king at c1, rook at d1. When castle kingside, king at g1, rook at f1. And the castling rule is the same as the normal chess. You can't castle through check, and your king and rook have to be stay there for the previous part of the game, and you can't castle through your own pieces. For example, can white castle queenside here? No. So this is well, white is running out of time, and well, white castle, black push the pawn, and white blocks the pawn, and this is and finally white wins by forcing the black weakness near the black king, and winning material, and black pushes the pawns, but the pawns are stopped now. As you can see, the pawns are stopped. This rook can't move, so white just push all the pawns, and the white pawns a pawn can't be stopped, and the black rook is currently useless. Well, what is that? Black should just move the rook and give some checks. Yeah, black should move the rooks, and the rook is good for drawing. Yeah, now it's bad. So this is a known theoretical win when your opponent has when you have a queen and your opponent has several pawns left. The kings are connected. You have to maneuver your king so that when you blow up something near to your opponent's king, like this pawn, and then your opponent's king is exploded and your king is safe. so then you'll win. Otherwise you don't win. Otherwise you can't even give a check. You can form a formation like this, and then your opponent will just lose. Okay, now let's view another new game. Now, as you can see, this looks like a normal position, and the rook, queen, rook, two bishops. So now the score is 1-all, and these bishops are pretty dangerous, but you have something like this queen, 894, and not the forced loss position, so maybe it's okay. And this is a good move because this bishop controls this square, and so the knight yeah, this is quite unusual because normally you have to play d6, but in this position you don't have to, so you can just push the pawn forward and develop pieces. Now I am anticipating just g6, but g6 does nothing for the development, so probably f5, but f5 is dangerous because of knight to h5, so g6 is more solid. And are there any threats by white? I don't think so. White is both white and black are doing okay, but this position is pretty well, interesting. Let's just think about it. What should black play here? Should black just go for the own attack and ignore the yeah? Black ignores the white knight because the bishop is opened up and against the a2 weak pawn, and now white, if white plays knight to h5, then after the trade, obviously white is losing material, and knight to h5 doesn't even threaten the black king. Black king is vulnerable on this diagonal, a6 diagonal, so probably the bishop on f1 is very dangerous. If you play something like e3, black has to be careful. That's actually what happened in one of my games. I play some. Yeah. What do you do? What do you do? I just said about that. What do you do? Don't do that. That is very dangerous. The king is very vulnerable on this diagonal, so you have to check this position. This is just like my loss, my first loss. Yeah. Let's view the rematch. Now it's 1-2. CTG leads, and CTG is probably the better player of these two, and actually my win was kind of lucky because, well, my opponent also blundered mating one like that. That is actually very sneaky because sometimes you ignore your king on these diagonals. But now I think both of them will notice that the b3 move is actually very dangerous. So don't play b3. Don't play b3 here. Like for example, you can play c4, and is c4 dangerous? Well, c4 is dangerous, so don't play c4 and just play c3. Play c3. Bishop, I don't think this is actually any threats. If you play bishop to b5, you just get c6 for free. So c6, but c6 doesn't c3, but c3 doesn't develop any pieces. So well, you can go play anything you like. Yeah, knight to d3. Knight to d3 threatens the The score is CTG 2-1 Legend. Just Legend. Yeah. So this bishop controls the c5 square, so nothing to worry about that. Bishop captures, and then bishop takes a2, but this is white's move, so now there are nothing on this diagonal. Yeah, so because the bishop is gone there, don't play that. Well, you can open up this bishop and create some vulnerable things at a7, and but black will defend against it by b6, and b6 I mean a6 is just for some random development, and the worries about the black king on this diagonal. Just Legend is afraid about that mate again. So white just develop randomly, and black develop randomly, and that is almost always good. And this position, well, the bishop, if I can put the bishop there, that is good, but you can't put a bishop there. You have to, this bishop is here. Yeah, it's trying to put a bishop on that diagonal. But if you go to h4, black will just play g5, and you have nothing. Well, random developing, just push the pawns, Chronotalk style, and black can also play some random moves like that. White opens up this diagonal against the black king. Well, this diagonal is quite dangerous, but you can push the pawn, develop the bishop, and or just what is it called? Unmine the center, because the center is now very dangerous. You can't put any pieces near the center because you will blow up the center. So you can trade some pawns in the center and try to defend against the threat of bishop to h3, or you can just push and defend it by pushing to g4. And this is just some random positions, and it's okay, I guess, for both sides, and normal, because you can see some tactics in Atomic 960 games, and it's good for your normal Atomic games, because middle game tactics, all about that. And if you, like me, hate opening preparations like this, just push e4 d4, knight f3 d4, this kind of positional openings. Yeah, so what's the threat? This is a very boring position, and the center is blocked and nothing is going on. So what to do? h4, exclaim, h4, and no threat whatever, h5. Yeah, I would play that, and I will probably come up with a plan like a4 is dangerous, so a3, and the g file. Well, if the gh file points get traded, then you might be in trouble because you might be in trouble. Yeah. So because the bishop at h3 would be very powerful. Bishops are actually better than the knights in some middle games because atomic players like knights because they jumping everywhere and put them near your king. But if your knight is at h1 and h8, will they threaten your opponent's king? I don't think so. So yeah, you have to activate your knights, and that is black's game plan. And black, if black castles this way, as you can see, this way is kingside castling. So the black king will end up on g1, g8, and the black rook will end up on f8. It's very long castling, but now black can castle, and it will do just what what I said, and just castle kingside like that. Black can castle, but black doesn't need to. Well, this defends against the threat of bishop to h3 I have been talking about for a while, and you can take and recreating the threat, but black can play. If you take, how does black defend against that? Maybe knight to g6, threatening h4, and white decides to open up the center and try to black push the pawn and just try for some confusion. Yeah. Why not? Why not? In these positions, I don't understand this position. It's terrible. Well, not that terrible. I mean, now bishop to h2, threatening this knight and the queen. So you have, yeah, white is just winning, but this pawn is also very dangerous. You can check, you get two bishops threatening your king. That is very dangerous. That is never a good sign. But but white is low on clock, so you have to do something. You have to take the rook, or you have to lose because of timeout. And after that, what is that? You can just go knight to g6 and whatever. Push d2, king d1. That's not a good idea because you open up your king, and knight to, I think knight to, this is not good because, yeah, the queen invades, but you can block, but black is too down, but black is up in time too much. If you take the queen, is there a mate? I think there is a mate because of two bishops. So after knight to f7, say, well, knight to f7, move the queen, takes. You check, and yeah, now black wins because black wins. So now black is going to win and white is going to flag, and it's very obvious. So that's actually good defense by black and very interesting. You just hang your rook for free and not good. Don't hang your rook for free. So black wins, and now the the score is 2-all. And they will restart the. I think they should restart the. Do they have to restart? Restart the position? Just flip the colors because of the 4-game rule. You should just flip the colors. Recreate a challenge because that's a rule of this tournament, and yeah, that is just for sometimes you get you are better as white, and I'll say in Discord. Games. Well, I don't need to do that. I'm lazy. I don't need to do that. Just are they actually? No, that's just this position. Whatever. This position is probably okay for. Let's check the rules because I'm not sure about the rules. I actually changed black and white after the first 2 series, and after 4 games, the starting player for position will be changed unless both players agree to not to do so. Yeah. So if they agree, it's okay. So this position is okay. Let's just see this position. What is this position? Well, it is an interesting position. We have currently black is threatening something. Black is threatening the bishop, and white have to play d3, or just take the bishop, whatever. C4 is also okay, I guess, but but this diagonal is very weak now. Yeah. After A3, probably the only. This is mined, so bishop to say C5 is not a good idea, but you can retreat the bishop or maybe doing something. Not sure, but black is doing fine here. Let's need to find out. Is this a notorious white wing position? I don't think so. The white wing position is, I think the queen is elsewhere, but it's very close. Yeah. So It's obviously threatened. The queen is open. Very complicated position. Think this position c6. The bishop on this diagonal. The queen, this diagonal is very weak. Okay. In openings, but it's not very weak. Actually, the bishop can block. So, not sure about that. Bishop. It's okay. Well. This bishop has no threats, but this queen, this diagonal is always a problem. Now this bishop can't block here, and not easy position. I don't know what to play here. I don't know what to play. I will probably go f3 and or just randomly develop knight to g3, knight to g3, yeah. f4, similar to my f3 idea, opening up the bishop. This is some normal moves, and f4 doesn't block the queen, but the queen comes out. What's the problem? There are no threats. Is bishop to b4 playable? Bishop to b4, last move. Bishop to b4. I think bishop to b4 is playable. Maybe bishop to b4, a takes a6 or a5. Not sure. G6 now and f2. Bishop to f2, threatening just blowing up the black king. Black can play c5 or bishop c5 or b6. I will probably play b6, but bishop to c5 is also okay. Bishop to c5, if you play bishop to c5, bishop to e3 or something like that. Bishop to b3, no, b3. Sorry, Siri always pops out for some reason. And what was the last move? Bishop to, oh yeah, then you can blow. Then you can capture the bishop. Yeah, I missed that. So bishop a6 forces capturing, and then you can capture the bishop using the rook. Because the bishop is more strong on this is stronger on this diagonal. You have to block c5, c5. If you move the a pawn, well, you get bishop a7 check, and it's very dangerous. I don't like that. So, well, you can push the a pawn, but c5 is c5. What's the problem? c5, b4, and then queen somewhere you get mated because the white king is very open. Black king is very open. White king is also very open. So c5, b4, and a5. Not sure. Or a5. If you go a5, let's analyze it. If a5, check, king up, and bishop to b6, and queen to f8. Is there any mating threats? Well, the white pieces are not developed yet. The black pieces are not developed either, and well, don't run your clock out. Just play. Just c5 or a5. Just decide c5 or a5 or a6 or anything. Just yeah. Do I? Oh. Sorry about that. I didn't notice they have already played that. I didn't catch up. So c5, b4. I'm sorry about that. a5, like I said, b5 and rook to c6 exclam. What does that do? If you take, then queen check, queen blocks. What's the problem? Yeah, queen can't even check. Queen can't even check. Yeah, what's the problem? And you check, and you get mated or not. You get mated. Hey, not really. No, it's not really mated. The black rook, the white rook is still there. If you, yeah, what happened here? I think black has made somewhere. Does black have mate here? Well, white is threatening mate, so black sacked the queen. White has to sack back the queen, but white rook invades and blocks the pawn. Check. White has a draw. As a draw is okay. Well, this position is very interesting. Well, this knight blocking this pawn. Black knight is trying to invade, and black is down in exchange, but no real way to win. So just go for the draw. I will just go for the draw because, well, the knight invades and and you can do nothing. So material is equal, and he moves the rook for a possible blowing up the pawn and the knight, but that won't happen. The knight just invades and attacks this knight and draw. You can you can hope for some blunder there, because sometimes your opponent might go there, might go knight to b4. That's a blunder, and you might get the rook check and blowing up the a pawn. But black plays correctly, and there are no checks, no tricks. And the next move is, of course, knight to c3 check and blowing up the pawn, so white will be in trouble. And this is drawn. This is as drawn. Yeah, this is very drawn. Let's just offer a draw. Okay, so now it's 2.5, and a draw is not good for the white player here, but it's okay. Well, this might go into tiebreakers, and what was the last opening? I think it was something like what was the last opening? This is c3 g5. Whatever. I hope I'm recording this time. Yeah, it's recording. So you can laugh at my not even catching up with their playing and yelling at them and saying, "Oh, move, just move." So knight to f3. Normal opening. Well, f6. What else? Can you do other things? I don't think so. F6. Well, not real, but black can't create their own threats. Yeah, so just F6. F6 opens up the bishop and its position. My commentary is terrible, I know it, and I probably miss several mates and several checks and just say random things. Knight to d4, threatening some random things, and something like knight to b5. And if you blow up the d 3 pawn, you get queen takes d7, and that's not good. So c6, defending against knight to b5, and everything is defended, but you can white can just play knight to b3. Or just g3, or just e4. Yeah, no e4, not e4. Well, knight to g3, same idea. Develop, just randomly develop. Well, threatening knight to f5, then knight to f5. Just two knights going to f5, knight to f5, and that's very dangerous. So black also develops, and knight f5, then knight f5, knight f5, then knight f5, or do something else. Is knight f5 good here? Well, black. Does black have any defense to that? I don't think so. Yeah. So the knight invades and black loses. I don't think black has anything. Yeah. I don't think black has anything. Black is just lost. And yeah, knight to c8 and push the a pawn. Otherwise, you can mate it. Knight to b6, yeah, and you win the rook and the queen because the rook at a8 is threatened, and you win the rook and the queen, and white should just win easily by playing normally. And now bishop takes a5 is a threat, so black has to play something, do something about that. And rook to b6 is worse, and you can't do that. Push the a pawn, and then bishop to a5 anyway, and just defend against the rook to b6, because rook to b6 is now the only problem you have, and that's also okay. So just defend, just do nothing, just trade pieces. Rook to b6, that's the only, that's the only hope, and just, well, anything wins. Well, you can just you can just go queen to e1. I would go queen to e1 because that's more that's more entertaining. Sack your queen. Why not you sack your queen? Just kidding. Queen to e1 is not good. But also wins, so why not? I think queen to e1 is also okay, but this position should be winning for white. Yeah, queen to e1, why not? Queen to e1. Yeah. Yeah, black doesn't even trade the rook for the queen because the rook is the only hope. So b3, I assume. Does b3 work though? Yeah, a3. Don't b3. If you do b3, then you might get mated. A3. Oh, now let's just anything wins. So I probably play because this knight is actually can cause some trouble to the king. So I'll probably go c4. Or b3. I go b3. If I go b3, then takes. Then your king is not defended much. Then your king is actually in trouble. So b3 is not good. So c4 takes b3. b3 takes. Yeah. Did white get swindled? Did white get swindled? I think. It's probably swindled. So CTG is probably losing here. Is it losing? Well, that might be a swindle. If white gets swindled, that will be a good, very decent. Rook d1. What? Rook d1 just takes. Just takes. Well, what do you do? Just takes. Yeah, or that. You have very limited legal moves. You might get mated. Because if you go king c1, then knight takes d1. If you take the knight, then rook takes b2. If you do anything. Oh, that's a swindle. I think white must be winning. So rook e1 is a bad move. Who play rook e1? I just randomly say rook e1. They listen to me. Then rook e1. And yeah, don't play rook e1. Just randomly develop. You just forget about that. Just go c4. Defend against knight to d5, and yeah, and it should be okay. Now legend is is actually leading, and legend is maybe the lower seed, and CTG is now in serious trouble because it's now 3.5, 2.5, and CTG has to win as black in in this position, or at least draw and to force a tiebreak. To possibly force a tiebreak. Well, it's a new position. The knight moves and the pawn just block random like it should. And this position, the bishops are here. Well, that's threatening winning material. And it's okay. Well. I think this position might be okay, but not sure about that. I mean, by okay, I mean okay for black, just not that winning for white. Some positions are very winning for white, like maybe the first position. Legend said on Discord that did Legend say anything on Discord? I believe he said the first position is unplayable for black, and yeah, Crepuscular said swindle by Legend. I agree. Legend is doing very well, and that is totally queen to e1. That's a move suggested by me, and do you think it's a good move? No, my moves are all very suspicious. So d4 and just randomly develop. The opening is very solid for both sides, and just move the knights out and castle, and don't do anything. g5. Well, opening up the bishop to capture. Is that capture even good? Well, this queen might be dangerous. Yeah, that capture, I don't think that's good. Just push the pawn. So this diagonal is now weak. C1 to H6 diagonal, because you probably can't see my cursor. Also, I don't think anyone is watching my videos. I might advertise my videos this time, but my videos are very suspicious and not so good. You can see T-Pose videos if you want to get better at Atomic. You can also see Program Fox videos, I believe, some endgame techniques. This video is just for some random tactics, like you learn tactics from real games and 960 games, because 960 games you feature some random tactical ideas. And after g4, knight to a6, well, it threatens, of course, knight to b4, and after that, you go there anyway. Just go knight to b4 anyway, because it threatens the white pawn on c2, and that's mate. So white can't. So white can't do nothing about it. White has to react to it, and knight to b4 anyway. That's the idea of knight to a6. Just knight to b4. Did I do something wrong anyway? Bishop. Well, that's okay. Is black in trouble? Is white in trouble? Maybe white is in trouble. Well, it threatens this pawn, and you can't push it, and you can't block it. And queen to g3, probably the only move threatening the black king. And after d6, you can play. Well, you can just take. You can just take. And no, I'm not sure about this position. White wins a pawn and a rook, but black has a bishop here. If you push this pawn, now it's black's move. Should black capture that? Well, if black captures that, then you get queen to a3 exclaim, and then you resign. So you can't capture the pawn. And after that, because now if you go queen to a3, you resign after bishop takes on a2. Remember the atomic rules. So bishop to d5 exclaim. Well, why exclaim? Because somehow threaten something, and you can't take it, so it must be good. So white is probably better, somehow better, because white is some material. If white wins, well, white wins, so legend wins. So if you check, now after takes, well, then you get swindled. Queen to a4. White loses now. Queen to a4, and then this king can't survive that. Yeah. Queen to a4, and that's it. Can you even defend that? Why not? Queen to a4. What? Queen to a4 instantly. If you queen to a4, what do? Queen to b3, then takes. Yeah, why not? Does white have anything? This bishop is blocked. I'm not sure about that. Now I think white is winning, because white is winning. This position must be winning for white, but you might swindle that. I'm not sure about that, because well, knight to a5. b3. What else? Is b3 good? Now knight to c4. Knight to c4, otherwise you have no play. Queen goes first, and then b3. There might be a swing though, because it's still very complicated and by no means very. There are no clear wins, and I'm not sure about this position. I might go. If you castle, then the rook ends up on d1, so you can't castle. You have to move the knight. Where do I move the knight? Well, that might be a bad move because although it does threaten some mating ideas, but but you get knight to c4 with tempo. Or that. You get queen to a3 and knight to c4, and what do you do? Oh, knight to c4, bishop captures. terrible. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Bishop captures. Yeah, and then white just wins. So yeah, then no swing those. So Legend wins the series. What's the score? 4.5 to 2.5. That's very impressive. And I'll see. Is this position somehow possible? Play stronger, not faster. Resign like a grandmaster. Hello everyone, I'm Fabian, and this should still be episode 9 of the Resign like a grandmaster series. And my OBS crashed for no reason. I'm not good at using OBS, so whatever. The match ended, unfortunately, and although I made some mistakes, I'm going to upload these videos, and the final video is talking about my games and because I didn't record my game. This is my first game. I hope it's recording, and the white and I, Fabian Low, and black is Nopu Desert. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Just call it Nopu Desert. And this position, I play d4, opening up the center, and this is probably some Sicilian ideas, and this is always a threat. And I didn't notice that because I'm just trying to develop pieces, and here after that I get this queen goes to here and threatens these 2 pawns, and I have to get mated. So this is my first game, and I lose in very embarrassing situation because I'm worried about some possible threats, and I played f3, but that's not good, and I didn't notice the queen is actually threatening that. So d4 actually is maybe not the best move. Yeah. The second game, well, I played as black. Opened with knight to b3. I responded with b6, and I'm trying to create some attacking ideas along this diagonal, and he defends against it, and I opens up the center and just push the pieces, and that move is a good move because I can't take. If I take, I lose material, and the knight invades, and I have to take because otherwise I get mated by taking the rook. So I have to take. And this is losing for me because it's losing for me. I'm down material, I'm losing. So after some random moves, I try to invade with my knights, and I try to invade with my rooks, but this is a normal technique. You don't take the rook because that wastes a move, but you have, this rook has to be traded because otherwise the white rook invades. So you push there because this is strat, so you can't avoid the trade, so white will have to take it, so you will still be your move. And because my knight is still under strat, so I move my knight back. But this position is obviously winning for winning for white. But this queen has, because as you can see, this queen, all of these squares are bad. So white just pushes a pawn. I try for some attacking ideas with queen invasions, and he defends. I try to invade, he defends. I take the pawn. I think that is a bad move. So white will have to play something like c4 and have no threats, and white is winning. But go there, I have some threats, and I create an open diagonal for my queen. I actually think about that. Do I have any chance? Otherwise, I will have to resign. White can interpose with the bishop, and I play that, obviously threatening to invade. White blocks with the bishop. Then I obviously, this bishop, I can castle, but if the bishop doesn't block here, but if I castle now, I castle through check. Remember, what is castling in Atomic 960? Well, if I castle, then the king ends up on g8, the rook ends up on f8. That's the normal kingside castling. So I can't do that because I castle through check. So I have to move the king to get the rook into the game. Can white still survive here? I think so, because white has so many material. I believe queen to there. But white plays captures, and I play check, and then he has nothing to defend. He has something to defend. Yeah, I didn't notice when I'm playing this game. Queen takes c5. Then I check. He blocks. I go there. He blocks, and white is fine and probably winning, or at least drawing, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, queen captures. But he obviously didn't see that, and I didn't see that. Yeah, queen captures. So after a game, you can always see some tactical ideas, but in the game, nobody sees that. Queen captures, and then white is fine because white is up material, and after check, white blocks with the knight, and after push, black doesn't have this bishop anymore, but white doesn't have this bishop anymore, but white can castle. So castle after takes, and of course rook blocks, and that does that count material. It's count material. That might be a draw. Should still be winning for white. Yeah, maybe winning for white. So queen captures. But after that, you don't take the queen, of course. You just play that invade with your queen, and you win. Third game, I'm playing with white, and the opening is, of course, the bishop threatening the queen. So you have to defend, and the bishop opens up and opens up the knight. So g3. I was thinking about that move in the game, but I believe it's not that bad. But I didn't see the queen is also threatening a2. So after queen captures a2, it will be very tricky, and knight to f4. threatening this pawn, of course, so I have to take, and takes, well, this is not so good for white, but I have to play on, so this is very interesting. Sorry, my OBS keep running into trouble here, and I talked about this position and I play knight to g3. This might be the third part of my video, but whatever. So g6 and defending against the knight threats. White is obviously losing because white is down a lot of material, but white has some compensation because of I just push the knights and the black has no development, but white is down a lot of material, and because this bishop is here, so I win a pawn. A pawn is a pawn, and I'm still down material, but I notice this doesn't threaten mate, so black can threaten mate. I block with the rook. That's maybe not good, but I'm thinking about just forgetting about the black threats. Just go bishop to c7, and black has to defend against that. And my idea is, of course, jumping with the knight, and because the bishop is here, and that doesn't do anything about that. I think black should play something like, well, that's always a threat, and what can black play? Well, black can probably run away with the king, whatever. So that doesn't deal with my knight to c5 threat, and I played it. Or you can just play c6 maybe, d6 maybe. d6 then takes, well, is black still a material? Maybe, so it's fine. And yeah, black is still up a pawn, yeah, up a pawn and a piece, so it's fine for that. So black is still up a pawn and a piece, so black can afford losing a pawn. After that, black loses a piece and a pawn, so now material is equal, but I have yeah, black is only up a pawn, so yeah, black is only up a pawn here, so after this I'm up a material, so that's not good. So maybe just run away with the king, or do something like d6, and it's an equal position, but that's equal position, so maybe black made some mistakes earlier. So this is I just go there and move the rook back, and I'm up material, so black resigned. So because I will trade rooks, and just black can't stop, I go rook to g2 and g8. Black can push the middle pawns, but I can move the bishop anywhere and trade rooks, and just to show what might happen, I might get into some pawnetized endgames. That is to say, all the black pawns are on white squares, but I don't think that will happen. The black pawns are many black pawns are on dark squares, and I can always play bishop to d6 to just don't need to trade rooks if that happens. Yeah, don't need to trade rooks. If the bishop to d6 happens and you don't take it, and then you might get mated. So that's the third game. The fourth game is also very interesting, and it's my internet breaking. Okay, so the position is the same as the third game, of course, and my opponent plays the knight invasion, and well, why do I take it with the queen? Because knight 0 is always a threat. So if I take it with the bishops, and I will still need to deal with that. So, and my bishop defends both of these squares. So my bishop is actually better than my queen. So actually, I didn't even see that, but I just trade pieces. So yeah, that is always right. So when I was playing the game, I just take with the queen because the bishop defends against that, and the same, but it's actually not the same. I was very lucky there and didn't blunder. So this is still an equal position because the material is equal and nothing is happening. I'm going to open up on the queen side, and I castle the king side. As you can see, my king ended up on on g8 and the rook on f8. This is how you castle. And now I'm going to open up the position. White plays rook there, and I have to defend, and now I'm losing again because I'm losing. I have to take, so I'm down a piece again, and I move the rook there, but it blocks. And here, I think if white castles, what will happen? If white can't castle here, but white can castle after blocking like that, and then castle. Yeah, white move that and hoping for castling, but I invade with the rook. So white should probably do something about that before. And how to do something about that? Well, maybe just run away with the king. But my knight is here, so you can't run anywhere. So you can't run away with the king. The bishop goes here, and I still go there. And how to defend? Maybe a move before. Maybe that is not a good. Yeah, maybe that is not good. You should just take, and then castle. Yeah. So takes, and so maybe that is also not a good move. I should just go there. Just go there. If there, I check, and you can't defend, but you can go there always. If I yeah. The bishop has this square, and all things are covered, so my rook doesn't invade. And the two bishops are very strong. You shouldn't give away your two bishops. Yeah. So bishop takes the knight is not a good move, and after that, that's a draw. Because why should I go for the draw? Because well, white is our material, and this pawn is very strong, and I can't stop that. And after that, my knight is basically trapped. If I move away, then black is just up to match material. So I have to just deliver perpetual check. So that's a draw. If you end up with a rook, invaded rook against a king, your king has to stay in a square, the 2x2 square, not near any, not directly near to any of your own pieces. Diagonally is okay. You can, for example, this bishop is okay. So the white king will stay in the C and D files, and the first and second rank, and white king will be fine. And as you can see, I can't even win any material with my rook, so it's a draw. Next game, I lost in very magnificent fashion, and c3, and there, because the bishop is of course threatening that, and I just defend against everything, but I can't defend with everything. Why I don't take? Because maybe I should take. Yeah, don't be afraid, just take. If he goes, yeah, I should just take. Yeah, I'm afraid, but that loses more, and just the knight invades there. That's not good. If I trade, yeah, I can't even trade the queens. So because that is always a threat. Why is that a threat? Well, my king can it escape? Can this bishop escape? This bishop can't escape, and this knight just capture the bishop is mate, and I can't do anything about that. So I can't even take the queen. So, but if I don't take the queen, the queen will just invade, and I lose even more terribly. So that's not a good opening. Maybe my opening is I should just maybe my opening is too passive, like the c6 move. The c6 move is not necessary. So I should just go for something like d5, maybe d5. Yeah. So that's not a good opening by me. And the next game I also lost, and I actually went for that because I lost. So I just played the same opening as he did. I just yeah, and he goes for that, and I can go for that, but why is that bad? Well, I well, you might get there and take the you might get queen to e5 and take the queen. If I go there, that doesn't threaten mate, and I may get mated, so that's not good. So I played there to defend against queen to e5, and then I will be threatening that. So he defends against that, and this pings my knight, and I push the middle pawns, and he develops the knight and threatening knight to c4, and I have to take it. Well, if I don't take it, this knight will invade. So well, if this knight goes there, that's no good. So I have to give up my queen, and or maybe do I have other options? So maybe this is not a good opening after all. So now I'm just maybe losing, but the queen is very strong in atomic chess. So what he did is just invade. This is maybe also not a good, because it opens up the position more. When your opponent has queens, they will just open up the position, and you will, because this is not a threat. What do? I can't do anything, so I have to castle. And if it goes there, I have to move the king, because this is threatened, and if it's and he just push the pawn for no reason, and I attack the queen for no reason. Don't attack things, they will move. And after it moves, what do? I just what do I do against that? Then mate, can't do anything, because it's mate. And if I go king to a1, queen to d3 anyway, and I can't even block anything here, so it's mate. What's the problem? So it's not a good move. This knight move is not a good move. I have to defend against that move. Yeah, this knight blocks my own rook. Yeah, terrible. But that's really a bad move. So I should probably try to defend by moving this. Yeah, moving that knight, and I get bishop takes d8, d1. That's not good. So this is probably just losing because the queen invades. Yeah, and all my pawns are on dark squares, and the queen just comes on light squares, and I resign. So that's not good. That's not good defense by me. And the next game, I play as black. I have to win this, and I play the knights, push the knights out, and this is pretty normal. This threatens, of course, winning material, and I defend against that. And after knight moves, and I just why do I do that? Well, I'm up a pawn. Why not trade pieces? I just trade pieces, and this is very boring. I just trade pieces all the way, and I just trade pieces, and because I'm up material. So maybe the opening is not good. Don't just sacrifice material for no reason. Why sacrifice material for no reason? And the attack is not good, and I just trade queens, trade pieces, and trade the knight, and this discover the attack on the a2 pawn, and just randomly this is pings the rook, and well, just trade pieces. I can even sack the rook for the for the bishop because I'm up 2 pawns, so he resigned. Now the score is equal, and the final game I just played something like e3 and just trying for a more positional opening, and he didn't trade the queen because there is no need to do so, and he did the same thing as me, and this might be a good opening for black, and of course I did the same thing, and because the knights are good, and I actually lost a pawn, and this might be winning for black. Yeah, but why did I lose a pawn? Because I didn't see it, and because the knight is very strong. If I go there, he will go there, and if I might have to go back. Knight to c1, but who will play knight to c1? I pushed and lost the pawn. I have to play that well. The bishop is threatening winning material, and I have to defend, and if I push, it may be threatens mate, so I have to defend, and I push. I'm making with the knight, and he played, and here is this queen is not dangerous. There are no threats. He plays that, and then that, and then it suddenly has a threat. So this is what happens in atomic chess. Maybe one bad move costs your game. As you can see in the earlier match, CTG was winning, but he blundered it away, maybe by playing my move, and terrible. So don't play my moves. My moves are mostly bad. And now finally, I'll just show you the challenge. Actually, well, it has, I'm not sure if I can change the language to English. I'm Chinese, so yeah, it just automatically changed to Chinese. So if you don't know Chinese, well, bear with me. So this is Atomic 960 tournament, the third edition. This is the bracket, and as you can see, nothing is updated yet, but maybe Ayush has resigned, just forfeited to Atomic Chess Sensei. As you can see, there are many good players playing. As you can see, Onubens, Historics, match with Opabinia, Vlad. The first two were both won by Vlad, and Chronatalk, T-Pow, Royal Maniac, Arca is probably the best atomic player ever, and he's GM, and currently he never played Atomic 960 before, but he's very strong at tactics and calculation, and that's what it's about in Atomic 960, so he will be very good at it. Baron Bunny, who is a finalist last time, and Katask, no Poedersers. That's just my opponent. So I won, and my next opponent will probably be Katask, and Katask, I don't think I can beat him, but I'll try my best to get a game from him, and maybe buy some swindles. I just played random swindles. I even played some gambits that's not so sound. Lesha, Namelak, Fast Tsunami, and the Crepuscular. Have fun reading this. Grand Lapping, Tornan, Cryfire, and Mihao. There are many strong players in this tournament, and it will be interesting to see something like Arca versus Katask, or Arca versus Chronoton. Yeah, Arca versus Katask. It will be very interesting. Because Katask is a crazy hot player, and his atomic opening knowledge is not that good, but he's very good at tactics and something like that. And Atomic 960 is just about middle game tactics, and you don't rely on opening preparations because you can't, unless you randomly get the position 518. That's possible because so many players are in it. So maybe sometime position 518 pops up, and 518 is just a normal atomic position. So yeah. This is a bracket, and the granular pin has been this is Rex, and granular pin is very strong, and not really that much to see. Okay, so that is the Atomic 960 tournament, and I might be covering some more if you like that, or if anyone watches my videos. Thanks for watching my videos, and bear with my stupid commentaries, and goodbye.